I've been eating Basilico's Vodka and Grandma Pizza for over 20 years now. They are the OG, the person that brought it here, Pete Montana. I've seen him in action for over 20 years, but never actually sat and talked with him. I'm going to do that, and we're going to chat all about the history and what makes it great right now. Guys, I'm at one of my favorite pizzerias, Basilico's, but in the back at bar 1019 with owner Pete Montana, originator of the OG Grandma Pizza here in NEPA. Now, Pete, I have been eating your pizza since you first got here back in Dickson City across the street.
22 years ago.
22 years ago. And we've actually never sat down and chatted before.
I know.
So 22 years, I guess I have to say I'm sorry, but you're always working and hustling every time I'm in.
Right.
So,
Right.
But I've been enjoying your pizza for a long time.
Thank you.
And also I've been at Basil before when you had that. It's going to be at Sheets now, it looks like.
Yeah, Sheets, Wendy's, I think, bunch of stuff.
So this place is special. Like this, what an ambiance you've created here.
Thanks.
Tell us about it.
So when I closed Basil, we decided to put Basil and Basilico's into one location, under one roof. And that's why we came up with the concept of having the Basil back here, which we call bar 1019, which is the address, 1019, and Basilico's, and it's been working great.
It looks great. It's not too like fine dining, but it has that high-end vibe.
It's got actually like a pretty good vibe.
So if you came in with like a t-shirt on, would you be okay?
No.
You're good?
As long as you got money on you.
Love it. Love it. So take me back. All right. So all of a sudden I'm working at Dino and Francesco's in Clark Summit, 20 years old, and I hear about this place making these New York slices, and I come down and I try, and it was like.
Well, at first nobody got it. They didn't get it.
I got it immediately.
Because, like for example, a slice of buffalo pizza was back then was like $2.95 or $3.25. People like that's crazy. But once you eat it, it fills you up, and you know.
I remember thinking that buffalo slice was like buying a hoagie because you put so much chicken on it.
Right, and we still do. We still do. So, like I said, we were the first ones to start that. You know, that the slices and all the gourmet pizzas and you know. So yeah, so it's been like 22 years now. It's crazy.
I also remember my first bite of that Grandma pizza. I was thinking, so up here, it's rectangular, looked like the shape of an old forge. So
right, square.
I'm thinking, is that just like kind of an upside down old forge? And I said, give me one of those, you know. And then I tried it. You had this marinara on top.
But that's how the grandmas used to make their pizza.
Where does it come from?
Grandmas. My grandma made the pizza like that.
Okay.
You know, with the plum tomatoes and the fresh mozzarella. You know, that was a staple. You know?
So it's from Long Island, really, right?
Yeah, Grandma originated on Long Island. My first restaurant pizzeria was in 1989 when I first opened up. I was 19. About 90, 91, 92, grandmas started coming out. Pizzerias like King Umberto's, my buddy Steve Frantoni's, Montana's Pizza in Freeport. We were the first ones to start that thin Sicilian. So it's what it was. It was a thin Sicilian.
So is there something that makes it different? Like, is proof time different? Is it a par bake? Is it a live bake?
No. It's. I mean, you have to proof it a little bit, yeah, but not like a Sicilian, where you need to get like So that's and the thing is, it's got to be crispy. You know, crispy's the biggest thing.
Gotta have it.
You gotta have crispy.
The thing that leaves the biggest impression is that the sauce on top, because it's the first thing that hits you, right? So you kind of flip the script. So sometimes the cheese will mask the sauce a little bit, but it's kind of living there, and it really hits. So you have a beautiful sauce.
Thank you.
All your sauces. And then, so I credit you with being the OG of bringing the Grandma Pizza here, and I find a hard time arguing with anybody over that because like you put it on the map here in Northeastern Pennsylvania.
Thank you, and I appreciate that because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think like for example, like Rosario's. Okay, Rosario used to work for me. You know, I gave Rosario the recipes. You know, so when people get it twisted. You know, the
order of operations right now.
Right.
You know, Rosario's another one of my favorites.
And he's a good friend of mine, but you got to respect.
The OG.
OG.
The OG's right here.
You got to kiss the hand. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but we're here with the OG. The other thing that I credit you with is bringing vodka pizza here and popularizing it. For those who don't know what a vodka pizza, what is it?
All right, so vodka pizza back in 2003. I was in my Long Island store, and my cousin Joe was working there, and he decided to put vodka sauce on pizza. And I go, what'd you do? He goes, I saw it somewhere. He was like, I don't know, I saw it somewhere. And that's how we started the vodka pizzas. And then I brought it here, and it was a home run.
So, immediately a home run?
Immediately.
Or like...
Right out of the gate. I think, you know why? Because it looks like that Old Forge. If you look at the vodka pizza, it has that, like the Old Forge with the yellow American, it has that. And so I think that's why it took off like that. I don't know, but it's delicious.
It's easy to order. Now I remember because I was hooked on just your plain cheese slice in the grandma, so I didn't order it right away. I looked at it every time, but yeah, it looks relatable. But you have that crispy but tender crust with the layer of cheese there, with that just blush sauce. It just works, you know.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we have probably hundreds of places making it.
Everybody makes the vodka pizza now.
So. Now the sauce. When I put vodka pizza on my vodka sauce on my pizza, it tends to break down. Like, is there any secrets that you might?
You got to use really good heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
Really good, like 40%.
Okay, so I'm cheaping out. I
mean, using that half
milk.
and half stuff. Nah,
yeah,
you can't do that.
All right, so I'm cheaping out. He doesn't cheap out here.
Good grated cheese, a lot of grated cheese.
So. How would you say, like, how does this place compare, you know, like, it was largely a pizza crowd
right.
at your own place.
Right.
What would you say is kind of the mix here? Is it more in the back? Do you get the foot traffic? Like,
it is probably, I mean, the pizza still is busy. It's the busier part of the, you know, only because of the takeouts. So we do a lot of takeout. But I would say 50-50. It's like walk-ins, you know?
Okay.
You know?
So
but back here was more like reservation, you know, it's like it's tough to get in on Friday and Saturday night, you know, without reservation.
That's great. This is a big place to fill too.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
wow. So just so you know, like, we don't eat the Chuck E. Cheese pizza after I take my son over there. We come over here for the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I hope so.
Well established,
a guy
right?
like yourself, you better.
Yeah, as you can see, right? Now, you're doing something called the Screamer of the Week.
All right, so Screamer of the Week started, funny story. Back in Long Island, back in the 80s, when new wave music first came out, 92.7 was a radio station. And all these songs from Europe would come in, and the radio station would play a new song that no one ever heard before, and he called it Screamer of the Week. And everybody would tune in on Thursdays to hear, like, it could be Depeche Mode or like a new song that no one heard before, and then people would vote on it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I came up with the concept. You know what? Let's do a Scream of the Week in a pizza. So that's why every Thursday I come up with a new pizza. Like this Thursday we did clam sauce. Delicious.
I have to try it.
Sick.
I have to try
it. It was sick. And you know, and I just came up with that Screamer of the Week. But that's where that came from.
That's really cool. So do you get feedback on those? Will they maybe be like regular menu items?
Oh yeah, we have about 7 customers right now that are following it, and they come every Thursday just to pick up the, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
That's really cool. Now here's a question I have for you. Since, you know, living in Long Island, living here, what are the differences in people's pizza tastes in New York versus Northeastern Pennsylvania?
Good question. It's pretty much the same.
Similar?
Yeah.
So I noticed there are a lot of, no, you don't serve Old Forge pizza or pan-fried Sicilian, but I notice a lot of New Yorkers will be, you know, they get the nose in the, I can't eat that stuff.
Yeah, America, you just were not brought up on that, you know?
It's different.
We love a grilled cheese.
But just not a grilled cheese pizza.
But not a grilled cheese pizza.
Okay. No, I have to admit, Old Forge is like sort of an acquired taste for me. It comes with the territory.
I don't mind it. I like it.
I think there's a pretty distinct difference when you get, but
Yes.
a lot of people disqualify pizza from around here simply because it's not from New York.
Yeah, but that's not true anymore because pizza is so different now. You know, people put anything on pizza. You know
They
what
do.
I mean, so I mean, if you took a traditional regular pie, that's what. But now pizza's like so. Like, you put burrata cheese, you're putting arugula, you know, you're putting like a prosciutto, you know, you're putting all these crazy stuff on pizza. So so you put American cheese. If you put American cheese on pizza, or you put burrata cheese on pizza. It's a difference.
But there's this innovation. We're having like kind of a pizza renaissance in the United States. I think like you have the home pizza makers that are now getting in the game, right?
Yeah.
And these ideas like Detroit style pizza was never a thing 5 years ago, and now people are making
That's
it.
good. Detroit style's good pizza.
You know, it's like fancy cheesy bread,
really
but
good pizza.
so good. I keep encouraging places to make it here, and it's not really mainstream yet.
No, it's it's not.
What would you say are some of the barriers? Like, say, if you're thinking about doing it, I'm not suggesting you are, but I mean, I know the pans are very expensive. Like, there's a capital cost to it.
Well, for Detroit,
Detroit.
I would have to really learn how to make the dough like their style because it's a different dough.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to learn how to make their style of dough, and then figure it out.
And the proofing time for a
Proof
whole
and time, yeah, because
cool.
it's like that thick.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
It is.
I do love it.
Really good.
But I think that talking about all the new things and the innovations comes back around to what Basilico's brought to Northeast PA. And like you brought this sort of New York attitude, right? And you brought, those two styles that I'm referring to. But I really think on the whole, and I don't want to pay too many compliments here because people are going to call me a homer, but this is the first time we sat down, right? You really elevated the game here in this area.
Yeah.
So I want to pay you that compliment.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I really do. Thanks a lot.
So what
But
else?
I'm always trying to raise the bar. I'm always trying to make different, like, always quality. Like, quality for me is number one. And then, so I'm always trying to do better and better and better. Different food. Even like with my fine dining, like I come up with some crazy stuff.
It looks the cheese wheel on the
cheese
table
wheel,
side. So
yeah.
it's actually you wheeling it out,
Yeah.
making the pasta table side. It
Yeah.
looks incredible.
Yeah.
I got to come. Like I said, I have a son. He's a little loud for this environment,
It's all
but
right. Bring 'em.
that's something I have to experience. Table side Pete with the pasta. It'd be awesome. So what else would people want to know about this place that haven't tried it yet?
It's a great vibe, great food. We're open 7 days, 11 to 9, weekends till 10. Great bar, great drinks, great wine list. It's great desserts.
You got to get a look around this spot. It's really it's a marvel to behold. So you've really done well here. It's
Thanks.
great. And I've been a fan for a long time. It's
Thank
good to sit down with you
appreciate it,
finally
man.
and give it a try. Now I got to go try those pizzas.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right.
That was a ton of fun to finally sit down with the person who created some of my favorite pizzas over the years and sort of just get that first person perspective about it all. I credit him as being the OG for those two styles of pizza. What other styles were brought here by other pizzerias? Let me know in the comments. What other OGs do we have here in NEPA? Let me know.